Woohoo! Well, welcome to My Toy Life. I'm sure everybody knows that this is the anniversary, the 80th anniversary of D-Day. And so, I got a couple of my G.I. Joe figures out to kind of show you. I don't know if you can see the symbol there on his shoulder, but everybody that's collecting knows this guy. Joining us tonight is Rick. Good evening, Rick. How are you?
How are you, Terry?
Guest panelist also Stacy tonight.
Hello,
Stacy.
Another one I got out. Everybody knows her too.
Oh,
right?
Mademoiselle,
Yeah.
And Stacy, I hate to ask you, you probably got 25 of these, right?
No, actually, I don't have any of those.
Woo!
I know.
I got one that Stacy don't have.
You
man.
don't have, yeah. I don't have that at all. I've tried a couple times to get that, and I was unsuccessful every time. So I'm like, oh well, eventually I'll
It's a
get
very hard
one.
figure. It is a hard figure to find.
It is.
It is, and unless you want to
one.
pay big bucks, you can pay
Yep.
big bucks. And I think I found mine in Tuesday morning one day.
Well, yeah, that's a good time to get them. Usually, like Tuesday, during the middle of the week, like the weekends, people watch the stuff.
No, the show Tuesday.
Oh, the show Tuesday. Oh, the show Tuesday.
I mean, there's a store down here. I think it's going out of business. It's called
Oh.
Tuesday mornings or Tuesday something like that. And they sell a lot of stuff like Ollie's. When
Oh,
when
yeah. I think we had one in Florida when I was there.
when other stores
Yeah.
stores
Yeah, it
don't.
was called Tuesday morning. I think it was called. Yeah.
All right, Rick, what you got to show us today, Rick?
I was gonna do World War II stuff because of D-Day, but then I said, I'm gonna go a different route, and I'm gonna show.
Well, if you didn't go a different route, you wouldn't be Rick.
That's right. I'm gonna show some droids I have. This is a droid from I think one of the Star Wars television shows that's on Disney, I believe.
Right.
And he makes a brief appearance. He's like a worker droid.
Okay.
Okay. I'm a sucker for robots and stuff. Always have been.
Right.
And this is a security droid from, I think this was from The Mandalorian. I'm not sure. And of course,
I like that.
Of course, I have we were speaking about two. Of course, I have two. And in actuality, I have four of these. Two of them.
Where did you get those, Rick? Where did you get them?
Off of Amazon.
Amazon. Okay. Did you buy all four together?
I bought one, and then I wanted another one, and then I ended up with four of them somehow.
Okay.
But
we've all been down that road.
This one I got yesterday, and if you've ever seen the Phantom Menace, Star Wars: The Phantom Menace, this is a destroyer droid.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I ordered one off of from GameStop. I'm waiting for him to come, and I foolishly went in GameStop yesterday, and they had one on the shelf, so I grabbed them.
Wow.
So now I'll have two of these. This one I'm going to paint. I'm going to do a dry brush with silver. He's just a little too drab looking, and he's articulated. He can move around, and he can actually roll up into a ball like he does in the movie and roll. But I'm not going to try. I'm not going to attempt that because
you don't want to break it.
Right. And I don't know if I'll ever get him unballed, I guess.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anyone has seen these. This is an Astrobot.
Huh.
And this is one of the most articulated figures I've ever seen. I think he's got 60 points of articulation. Even his fingers are articulated.
Wow.
Oh, wow. What is he from? Is he from a show or?
Yeah. I think he was a comic book, I think he's actually a made up figure that this company decided to go ahead and produce their own action figures. Astrobots. They do have a site on Facebook, a page, and this is Apollo, and this is Argus.
Hmm.
And they are amazingly, you can stand him up, like balance him on one foot if you want, and he does all kinds of, and he's like, his joints are nice and tight.
We got a question for you, Rick.
Yeah, what do we
Where
got?
do you keep all your stuff?
Some of
Yeah,
it's
where do you
right
keep it,
here. Some of it's in the garage. Some of it's in the back of my car, which I might have to get rid of because I might be living in my car soon. So I got to make room. And that's what I got. Astrobots. So those are my droids. I've used these in a couple pictures. I'd like to get more. This is what he looks like next to a 6-inch figure. So you get a kind of idea of the size.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Well, let me also encourage everybody. Thank you. I see Murray. He's always faithful joining us, and
Hey Murray.
See the GI Joe headquarters joining us.
Yeah.
Let me encourage everybody to like, to share, and comment, and post the video somewhere. We got about 500 subscribers, and we're having around 100 views. But if you help us and post it, comment on it, that always help get more word out. So Stacy's going to show us his Jeep.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to post this later on, either on my Facebook page, some pictures on what I did and how I got this done. And then I'll also do it on my SIG20 page. Okay. But I had a Tan Adventure Team Jeep, and this is the end result.
Okay.
So they do it like this. Let me take him out of here so he doesn't come flying out either. All right. So if you look at the top, it looks like the bumper was never touched. But the bumper was broken.
Okay.
All right. So that's what it looks like. So that's done. So what I had is a bumper that had, this is the actual bumper. It actually had the license plate here, which goes right here, was broke off. So I used Bestines, which is a solvent, to help take this off. I did it to start loosening it. And then I used Tester's glue, and then I kept putting it in there and then kept prying it loose. And then this came off. This is the original bumper. This is the actual bumper that came off of it. Okay. And then I had a donor Jeep, which was this one. And it had the good bumper, which is on there now. And I did the same thing and removed this bumper. And then I cleaned it up. Clean up in the inside, and then just re-glue it back on. And if you do a nice, neat job, you can never tell. So nice. I'll post it all with a bunch of pictures, because people have been asking about doing this, and a lot of people want to know how to do it. And I mean, I offer to do it. It is a time-consuming job. It takes usually 2 days to do it, but can be done. So you can, if you have a broken license plate, as long as you can get a good bumper, you have to give somebody who's gonna, this is all that's left of the Jeep. So, if you can get another bumper, you can fix your old one, so.
Cool.
But I'll post that on there. So cool. That's what I've been doing, that, and, flocking, painting, talker rebuilds, body rebuilds, all that kind of stuff.
Well, I don't know if you guys have ever seen any of Deering Studios' work. But Dan is an amazing photographer, in my opinion. I've enjoyed his pictures for a while. So let's welcome our guest, Dan.
Hello.
Hey, Dan.
Welcome.
It's awesome to be here. Thank you for the invite.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you. Thank you.
Why don't you share with everybody how you got started, Dan?
Well, it was back in 1966 in January. It was a cold day. I was up in Maine, and my mother went into labor. And I'm kidding.
I didn't mean that far back, Dan.
Well, how I got involved, obviously, for my generation, I was big into the adventure team growing up as a kid. And I get the sad story of a lot of kids that when you got older, you know, your parents take your toys away and you're too old for this. In the late 90s, I was watching a Home Improvement one day, and on the back wall of the early seasons, there's a G.I. Joe standing on the back of it. And I was looking at my wife, and I said to her, I had all those as a kid. I really would love to get one back. And my birthday came around, and lo and behold, she tracked down in a Man of Action figure, and she gave it to me. And that started the whole thing. Like, I got to get everything back I had as a kid. What happened was I ended up discovering adventure gear. Tom Calhoun's business out of Charlotte, North Carolina. And he had a bunch of reproduction stuff that he was making, you know, because at the time, back in the 90s, everything was original. Everything was very expensive. I mean, you remember an action figure, you know, a Man of Action was well over $100 back in the 90s.
Right.
So I started buying some stuff from Tom at Adventure Gear. And it was really cool stuff. But I noticed on his website, a lot of the pictures were of figures in the backyard, in the trees or woods or whatever, of his figures. And as a kid, I built a lot of models, dioramas, model trains, that type of stuff. And so I said, you know something, let me take one of his things that he put together, and I dressed it up. I made a whole set, a custom set to scale for that figure, took a picture of it, and I sent it to him. And I said, you know, hey, love your stuff. You know, here's a picture for your website to do with it whatever you want with. Next thing I know, he sends me a ton of stuff. He says, start taking pictures of it. And at that point, it started the whole thing where I started, you know, photographing a lot of these figures in sets. A lot of these shots, older shots, are catalog type shots where I took, you know, a guy posing and the outfits. But it started something, you know, just wanting to, I fell in love with the hobby itself. And I really wanted to give something to the hobby, and I really wanted to make it exciting. So I basically went into building, you know, I'm not gonna say dioramas, but they're sets. And I just taken a lot of pictures and try to make them not uber realistic, but put them into the figure. So when you take something that's, you know, you take a G.I. Joe at the time and you put him into kind of a plasticky set, it actually works and makes it kind of look realistic.
Yeah. Well, I've enjoyed your pictures for years.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. And of course, that actually led into doing things called photo stories that we started creating things. And as anybody knows at this point, knows me, is Carl Butcher is a creation that I made that we use, you know, it's a spy type situation where I took an Action Man head, put him together with a figure, and you know, he went on some adventures, you know, like some spy adventures, taking on all the villains that they made from 21st century, and started making stories like that. And then, you know, I did other stories where I ended up creating another story where it's called Devil of the Woods, where I created a whole. People end up turning up missing in this town, and it comes to find out. I mean, I don't want to spoil too much, but big furry thing is the culprit behind why people are missing.
Where did you get the big furry thing?
This is I'll dig about here for you. This is the Yeti from The Search for the Yeti, and he's heavily dyed, painted, sprayed. He kind of feels like a porcupine, to be honest with you, the way I got him painted up like that. The cool thing about it was when I did this, the Collectors Club actually reached out to me for photographs of this, and they did a great job when they released the search for the Bigfoot set that they made. They did a great job. I mean, it's the spitting image. I mean, down to they copied it because I mean they had me take a bunch of pictures of him and send him in. So this is the one from the story, you know, right there.
So that was the white one, right? That the club.
That was what I don't know if you can see him or not in there, but you know,
yeah.
Don't get too scared. I don't want to scare the kids, you know. But
I've been wanting to try to dye one of those forever. I haven't ventured into it.
I ended up being like Sid when I made him. Just so you know, it was he went into a big boiling pot of brown dye.
Yeah.
And that's how I dyed him. And I just added stains, brown stains to him to give him the, different shading on him and just kind of cover him up like that. So, but I think a lot of people enjoyed it. I've seen a lot of messages about people saying how much they enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Of course, right now my site isn't up. I'm making some changes to my site. I got some plans going now that maybe we'll talk about later. That's the reason why my site's not up, because we're doing a big revamp. I mean, my site went up in 2002. It needed an update.
Oh, yeah.
But there's no way to see your stories right now.
Not right now. Maybe if you go to the Wayback Machine, I think. If you go to Wayback, go to daringproductions.com and you go to the Wayback Machine, you might be able to find it that way. Yeah. So, I mean, that's right now. I took it down last year. I mean, it just, like I said, I created the site back in 2002, and it was old. So it needed a major update. But as Terry, if you are aware that, I've got some big plans on a big project that I've been working on for the last few years. And that's the big thing that I want to.
Go ahead. You can share that with us if you want to. If you're ready to share that, go ahead.
Oh, I can share it too. I can let me add it down here. Like I said here. I have it here. I have it here.
Okay.
I guess I wasn't prepared, but.
Well, I have to say, Dan, thank you for showing us that Yeti now, or that Bigfoot, because now I'm going to have to find another one and do what you did there, because I have the white one still. So, but I don't want to mess up the one I have. I only have one.
Yeah, let me ask you guys a question.
I do have a white one.
I've noticed that the white one has gotten higher in money. To buy it, it's getting the price is going up. Have y'all noticed also that the muscle body Joes are raising prices? Have y'all noticed that?
Oh yeah.
What do you think the reason for that is? Those muscle bodies aren't worth that.
Well, no, they're just polystyrene. They're just like a model car. The whole body is. It's not, but it's just something you're going through. People, like if you put him in shorts, he looks fantastic. He really does.
Well,
but
I'm wondering if they're going in prices, because there's been so many reproductions of all the other Joes and other figures that realistically they've never made a reproduction version of Muscle Body, have they? So isn't that one of the reasons why?
Well, Falcon has, Geiper Man has. They've made their, if you look at the Falcon, it's the exact same copy that they make today as the 70s. 75 Muscle Body. It was the exact same mold.
Okay.
I did not know that, Stacy.
Yeah. You can go buy it new. Falcon, go look at it. It's a beautiful copy. It's got blue shorts. They're the exact same molds. It just doesn't have the AT logo on the fake belt.
Okay.
But other than that, the markings on the back are different. It'll say Falcon on the back. But it's, he comes with Kung Fu grip. You can get him with a painted head or a flocked hair, painted eyes, fixed eyes, or you can get it with eagle eyes now.
Okay. Awesome. Well, Dan's got his video up here, so let's see what this is.
Okay.
Well, let me see if I can drag it back to the beginning here. Hello. Come back. Hope that played fluid enough for you.
It's a little choppy. It was a little choppy. Maybe we can. Maybe what you can do is post it on your page later, and then I'll post it on mine, and then
I'll do that.
Go to.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you're running off of
but that logo sitting there is fine enough, right there. That explains it right there. That
all right. Well, tell everybody about it.
Well, if you look over my right shoulder, you see a couple figures there. Kind of hard to say, but let me grab one guy here. Oops, sorry. Oh, it's my duck, Carl. Okay, I gotta keep one eye open tonight when I sleep. All righty. I'm creating a thing called Snowboard Rally. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be racing action figures. These are actually real figures, fully posable figures. They are racing on a track. I've got multiple track setups. The track is 60 feet long, and I'll be creating different ones. I've got this figure here. I got 33 figures actually ready to go, and I got one other one for the Pink Owl fans. So this guy's name is, we call him Ken Barbie. So
Ken Barbie.
In Barbie. Okay.
Barbee. Get it right.
Okay.
But what I'm doing is I'm still in the stages. I'm testing everything out. It works. I got to put it all together. But it's going to be something different that I don't think it's ever been done before, and I know it hasn't never been done before with action figures. You actually be racing these in competitions. You've probably seen channels where people race Hot Wheels, create tracks and race Hot Wheels. I'm racing 1/6 scale action figures. It is one of the coolest things you probably will ever see, watching action figures roll down. It's not just a flat track. It's not like a Pinewood Derby track or anything like that. Terry's actually seen some of it. I got like hills and bumps and things, and I do whatever I can to try to get these guys to bounce around. So it's a complete competitive situation. Nothing doctored. So the guys, what they do is what they do, and it's actually really cool. Like I said, the track is 60 feet long, and it is mind blowing that I'm able to strap an action figure to a board and roll him 60 feet and he doesn't fall over. And you can see obviously when I got this, he's only 2 inches wide, 2.5 inches wide there.
Yeah.
Everything on the figure is like, this is all custom resin sculpt. Coswell gave me, they provided the shirts, but I hand sewed all the other stuff. Custom, did all these the board, the boots, maybe some people might recognize this head. That's an Action Man head. So
yeah.
But
yeah,
they're all put on. They're all put onto the True Type bodies. So they're all True Type bodies. So they snap in. I can move them all around. Hopefully, sometime this year, I'll have it actually on YouTube where you can actually see it going. I do have a private channel right now where I've got some people watching it for feedback and what I got to do with it as far as editing and those kind of issues. I'm trying to work through the bugs. The bugs are not really that doesn't work. It works. The bugs are me trying to get good camera angles and such like that to make it a little more exciting. Because as I said, it's really hard to give you an idea. They go in 60 feet in 9 seconds. So they're moving. So it's a really cool. I've been working on this since 2019. Of course, 2020 kind of put us all behind the 8 ball, so that kind of messed things up. And then me moving down to
when you moved, you had to bring that entire ramp, 60-foot ramp with you, didn't you?
It's completely modular. There's 10 pieces of 8-foot by 2-foot sections of track. They do have the track itself. Well, maybe I can share a photo. Let me show you.
Okay.
Let me bear with me. I'm sorry to
take your time.
See if I can show you a picture here. Let's see if it.
So
I don't have one right readily. I'm sorry.
Where do you put 60 feet of track?
Yeah. Like I said,
obviously
modular.
outside.
So everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really need to get a picture here. I'll dig around as we talk around. I'll dig around so I can find a picture. But it's complete modular. I built it so it all snaps together. The starting part is 5 feet in the air and it goes, obviously down. But I can actually I made different sections of track. I got some of the with a hump in it, some with a couple humps in it, different things, and a complete modular 8-foot by 2-foot, and it folds all up, and I can put it in the shed and stack right to the side there. It's completely remote start. You hit a button, and it just releases all the guys. I apologize. I wasn't really ready for that to show pictures there. You know, I've taken 100 pictures of this track,
While he's looking for that, Stacy, did you want to share something?
Me? No. He was in the Jeep. I just stuck him up here.
Gotcha.
In the comments, there's your answer to the muscle body.
I see that. I'm going to post that.
Where's that at? I didn't see it. Oh, the muscle body arms. Yeah. Some people are. I mean, but I wouldn't buy one, like, personally myself, with replaced arms. If I'm going to buy one, I want the factory arms.
Yeah.
But
I have been seeing a lot of them on Facebook.
But I mean, if you look, majority of, like, on eBay, majority of what we're selling on there are all, with original body parts. So, you just have to restring them, or, Joe Zeta makes probably the best kit to put a muscle body back together. They are. Right. It's like this one here. It's like super tight, so he'll hold the pose.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Now, if you buy the new Falcon, it's got rubber joints, but they're done exactly like what Hasbro did back in the day, except for they're silicone now, and they probably won't ever rot or break. They're pretty tight. I've taken a brand new one apart just to see. I'm probably one of the guys that'll do that. He'll go buy one, for $100 and then take them apart.
Well, you got to see how it wores.
I already knew. I just wanted to see what they did.
Isn't that called reverse engineering?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And then I took those original rubber joints and I put them on an old, just to see if they would refit back in. Exactly the same.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep, they're exactly the same. Well, they bought the old factory. They just, when they went out of business, they just closed it up. They left things on the assembly line.
Oh, wow.
They didn't finish.
Where was the factory at? Where was that factory at?
It's Brazil.
Okay.
So that's where they're made out of. So the guy just bought it, and he got all the old tooling dies and everything. He's making them all over again.
Well, if y'all have seen these new Marks figures that are coming out of Mexico.
Yep.
I heard through the grapevine that what was going on with that was that some of the molds were given to someone in a divorce settlement, and that person in the divorce settlement started reproducing the figures of the molds that they had.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's true, but it sure is interesting that, these molds would be so valuable that they'd be part of a divorce settlement. Interesting.
Well, I mean, I guess it's a possibility, but
Yeah.
Hasbro destroyed all theirs, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, to recreate those molds would be big money, I would imagine.
Yeah.
So
they got it. I mean, I would think that they could do it today with not as much
reverse engineering. Yeah. They could do it easy.
Take an old Joe and do it, get a new Falcon and do it,
Yeah.
There's got to be a market. I mean, I'm sure guys like us would buy stuff like that if it was a Hasbro released,
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
I would. I'd go out and
Did you
buy
find
50 of them.
Did you find a picture yet, Dan?
I do, but for some reason it's taking a long time for the download. I got one here. I'm
Okay.
right now, so I apologize for the delay of that. So hopefully it's.
Uh-oh. Are we losing his volume?
Yeah, he faded out.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I backed away. I'm sorry. I'm just a mess right now. So,
I don't remember the first time I saw your stuff, but when I did, it just had the flavor of the old Adventure Team. And
yes, it does. It
That
does.
was one of the things that attracted me to it, was because, we all have these ideas and dreams. It's one of the reasons I like Greg, and I'm sure I'm not saying his name right.
Arturo. Yeah, Arturo. Yeah.
He was a part of making that Yeti Brown for the European market. And he had one, he brought it to Joe Atlanta, and he had one of the prototypes that he had worked on. And I was this far away from buying that prototype because Jack Hall got there first. Jack Hall has it. Now Greg says, I would give anything to not have sold it.
Yeah.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
Well, now we know where to hit Jack up for that, and so he's got it.
Jack ain't going to sell nothing. You can forget Jack selling anything. He just will not do it.
He does. He does. I've gotten a few things from him.
You've gotten a prototype from him?
Not a prototype, but I've gotten some other things.
See, that's one of the things that
he may not. Yeah, he may not want to get rid of it because
he buys prototypes. Anytime he sees a prototype, he is going to snap it up. Yeah. And he is never. I've never seen him sell a prototype yet. But he has some amazing creations himself. I can't get him on the show. He says, Terry, I got a dirty mouth. I'm not going to be able to be on.
Okay.
All right.
But I love Jack Hall. I
finally got a picture.
Right. Here we go. Here's a picture. Let's pull it up.
I have better pictures, but I don't want to burn much time. But that kind of gives you it's a weird angle, but yeah, she's pretty large.
Wow.
I mean, I wish I got better pictures, and be honest with you, you're gonna see it when the whole thing comes out. But all these pieces here, if you can look, as I point to things, but they're 8-foot sections. See, every one of these legs is 8 feet that goes down, and the legs are actually bolted on, and they fold in, and I can take those legs off and move them around to different to move these around. So I can make all kinds of different variations of this track, and it's absolutely hilarious to. I would show a video, I'm sure, but everything's really choppy. But I'm still working on putting that production together, and I run tournaments from time to time just to see how things will work out. And part of it was also getting these guys balanced together, trying to get everybody kind of competitive. So I've got it dialed in now. That I ran one tournament this last tournament I ran, and it was a blast. It came up great. You expect one guy to be dominant and win all the races. Because what I'm doing is I'm running 4 races for 4 heats for every race. So everybody runs in a lane, and then basically I'm giving everyone 5 points for first, 3 points for second, 2 points for third, 1 point for fourth, and then you accumulate that, and the top 2 guys move on in the bracket. As I said, I got 32 guys in the competition.
You're changing lanes every time, right?
After each, I call them heats. So after each heat, they're doing this, and it's I'm not getting consistent. That's kind of a bracket that I'm running. See, you can see. I don't know if you can see it. I can't really show it because it's going to give away who the champion was.
No, don't show it.
I mean, but so it's a really, as I said, it's kind of giving back to the hobby, and I think a lot of people will enjoy it. We'll have some commentator on it, and we'll have some some music with it. It's gonna be graphics, the whole thing. So it's not going to be just me just running some track out there. It's going to be its own contained race format, and I think when you see it, you're kind of amazed that, oh my God, a guy actually made basically strapped a G.I. Joe to a powered derby car and sent him down a 60-foot track. And then we're talking, he's not just going down straight, they're going up over hills. And there are wipeouts. Guys wipe out and take out other guys. So there you have the action where you have these huge crashes. And I mean, as I said, these guys go 60 feet in about 9 seconds.
Now, are the wheels, are they on a bearing or?
They're Pinewood Derby wheels. I went to the Boy Scouts of America, and I bought a whole bunch of wheels, and they gave me a great discount on it. I mean, I bought a whole bunch of them, and I had to. I probably at this point now could probably build a championship Pinewood Derby car right now, because I mean I'm doing the whole thing where I'm toning the wheels, getting them all like so everything runs nice, like polishing the axles, the whole thing. It's been developed. As I said, I have a closed group right now where I'm showing people what I'm doing, and it's mainly to get feedback from people. Actually, people aren't even in the hobby, just to see what they think, see if it's actually viable from wasting my time. And everybody seems to be enjoying it. It's developed.
Didn't you get the idea from something you saw on another YouTube channel?
Yeah, I came across a channel called 3D Bot Maker. It's a guy who races Hot Wheels. And believe it or not, I actually made one. I don't collect Hot Wheels. I actually made a custom one and mailed it in. My car didn't win, but it made the cover of his YouTube channel on the thing. But this guy, if you haven't seen it, 3D Bot Maker, and it's phenomenal. It really is. It's he has commentary on it, and it's humorous. And that's what I want to do too. I want to make it just not like deep serious. It's fun. These are action figures.
Right.
So yeah. Go ahead.
I don't know if this is a question or not, but it says here no bearings, just metal axles to plastic wheels.
You got it exactly. These are actually glow in the dark wheels because I wanted the white.
Dark, so you can race at night too.
Dodging the deer in my backyard.
Will this eventually be a YouTube thing? Is that?
Yeah.
It'll be under my daring studio. I'll have it set up on that, and we'll have that. I've got some other things going on too that I'm working on through this, but I'm looking for this year to have it done. I'm very, very close. This is why like I said, I started this in 2019, and I did a bunch of tests on to see is it feasible. I put a guy and I set him down a makeshift track and I go, okay, he made 12 feet, and then I do have runners on the track to keep the guy straight. It's kind of like just like a Pinewood Derby track. It basically, as you see that there's lanes. I can't. If you go without those, the guys just go down, they go bananas, and you're half the guys don't make it. But they still are going fast. I don't know if you saw the picture, but there's some serious humps in there. And these guys sometimes launch. They hit that thing so fast, they go, and they're gone. They go right off the track, and it's hilarious. I take photographs of their impacts on the ground, and these guys are all crumpled up in balls way at the ground, And my last tournament, we had a serious injury. We had one character.
I was just asking you about that. He's
completely recovered now. He's been repaired. We got a guy named Freddie Freestyle, and he's a former champion when I first started. So he's a former champion, but he launched off the thing and his hip shattered. So he couldn't. He was in the first race. He went right off the track, and poor guy. But for the first time, I actually did a true type body repair, and I put him in surgery, and I repaired his hip, and he's healthy and he's ready to go again. So.
It's an ambitious project for sure.
I think it's going to be really cool. As I said, it's something different. One of the things I've always done, which we haven't shown a lot of pictures I've done, but everything I try to do is I try to go outside the box when it comes to this hobby. Just go, okay. I started doing the photographs with dioramas, and I can probably let me give you one of my I'll upload one of my you talk to the adventure team, one of my adventure team pictures, and I want to do something a little bit different each time. It's shake it up, because as we go along, people are where is it? People kind of catch up to what you're doing is what happens. So you're doing creating a photograph, and next thing you know, people come. There's guys out there taking great, action figure photography. You see it on Tested. I see it on the groups. There's some fantastic people doing some fantastic photographs. But I always want to be ahead. I want to do something a little bit different. And that's what I'm doing with this, because the reason I'm going public with this now is I realized I don't think anybody's gonna. It's a big undertaking to do this. I mean, you could probably take a 112 figure and do this, or some Hot Wheels figures and build a small track. But to figure out how to take a 12-inch figure, get the weight right on him, and send him down, because there is I'm not going to give the secret, there is a very specific weight you have to target for these guys to work. And I didn't do anything like, there's nothing modified. These are real figures. There is nothing. This is a real 2-type figure. There's nothing in here, no extra weights in him, no nothing. But I had to figure out the wood on the bottom, what type of wood to use on the bottom because of the weight on that. There's certain things to get him so he'll go down the track because they're extremely top heavy, So
right.
I pose them to they go this, they look like snowboarders when they go down. They got the hands right position, so they go down. I got a starting gate. I got the whole thing. I'm working on crowd now. What I'm doing now is I'm building it all out. I'm happy. I know it'll work. It's just that I'm at a point now where I want to build out to give it more just than what you see there. Right now you see what's called Snowboard Rally in Greenville, South Carolina. That doesn't really, not a lot of snow here from background. So so it's very green looking. So I've got to build something to give you the illusion that you're on a mountain somewhere and you're watching a snowboard race.
Oh,
Stacy, somebody asked if you do eagle eyes.
Yes, I do. I also do those eagle eye conversions. If you guys seen it on my posts, where I'll take a white guy and we'll turn him into a black talking commander or a black adventurer. So yeah, okay. I work on everything on all the stuff. Well, now, I wanted to ask you a question though. Yeah, is all your figures, are they all basically weigh the same when they go down the track then?
There is a very similar weight to all of them. Like I said, I don't want to give away trade secrets.
Well, he's trying to ask if you put a little bit more weight on the winner.
No. Well, all right. I will say this publicly here. I vow that I will never rig a race or do anything to, what it is what it is. I'll be honest with you, I have tried to see if I could rig a guy. And I've got one figure that is extremely fast, very fast. I mean, he flies. But the problem is you change a track. You think like, oh, yeah, he's fast. He's going to win it. And then I change a track around and he's not as fast on that track because the track may have extra humps or something like that. When they're going up the humps, it slows their speed down. So it slows them down. And, you've probably seen the what do you call it? What's faster, straight line or with go down a dip, and actually the dip is faster than going in a straight line down. So they kind of build up speed as they go over the hump. They slow down, but they go back down the humps. I mean, and like I said, I actually put a Hot Wheels on the track to see if it'll keep up with it. And my guys ate that thing alive. I mean, these guys, they go so fast. In part of my videos, I actually have to slow it down a little bit because they go so fast that they're blurs, and which is cool. It gets more action. It's more unpredictable, and I mean, what I'm doing. All right, so there's basically round 1, round 2, round 3, and then to a championship race. The guys who don't make it out of round 1, I do pull them aside and look at them go, because a lot of times the guys who don't make it out of round 1 stall on the track for some reason, or they fall over, or and I got to look at it. And I pull them aside and I go, okay, why are you not working properly? And I will mess with it, but it's so. Like I said, it's kind of Pinewood Derby and action figure, so you can fine tune. You can go in a Boy Scout tournament and grab a Pinewood Derby car off the track, and this is the fastest one. Strap a 12-inch action figure on top of it and see if it performs the same way.
Right.
There's a lot of variables. As I said, they're action figures, so there's a little bit of sloppiness to them. So when they're going over the hills, you actually will see guys like hunch over, or, they'll flop a little bit as they're like taking the bounces. So
Yeah.
it will throw them off. I do track the performance on them, which lanes are doing better than other lanes. And as of right now, in this last tournament, basically all the lanes were equal. And it wasn't because I didn't have, there are guys that are good. I mean, they'll win multiple races, but there's only been a few races where one guy swept all 4 races, but most of the time it's like, surprising. I've had great overtakes. One spoiler, which was a bummer because it was in a dead area of my camera. That's the biggest thing I'm working with, where my camera angles out. And the figure that I had here, he was in a runoff. He was tied for points and he had to go on. And it was best of 3. And he did this incredible overcome. And I don't understand how it worked, but the guys were going down. The other guy had probably about a 2 length on him. And he came down. He was like about 16 feet from the end. And all of a sudden, it was like a lightning bolt hit him. He went right by the other guy. I have no idea why. And it's really cool. That's the stuff that you see. And it's not the only time it's happening. Guys will go down slow, and then all of a sudden they'll just take off.
Well, hey, Dan, I don't know if you've watched our show, but it's that time.
Oh, I know.
That time.
I got one more quick question. Have you ever thought about making them jump like a distance?
Yes. I don't think they'll handle it though. I think they'll crumple. I mean, it's
too bad.
Yeah. I mean, I thought about just making castings. A lot of this is castings. I had to learn how to sew. I learned how to make castings and stuff like that. And a lot of these guys, I'll do whatever I can. I'm going to keep developing as it goes along.
Okay.
But I wanted to get it live.
Sure.
I think you're up, Rick.
I have a question before we move on.
All right.
Dan, are you a trained photographer? Did you go to school or did you teach yourself or?
My father was a professional photographer for 50 years. And the Deering Studio is actually what his company name was. My father passed in 2013. But he passed on a lot of tips and tricks. But I'm doing digital photography and he was doing film, and a lot of film stuff works that way. I was hoping we could talk a little bit about that, about how my theory on certain things on you got people out there who can tell you, show you lighting and this and that, but for me, it's how your setting is your picture is. I'll do it real quick if it's okay, Terry. I don't want to go too long for it, but real quick, all my setups are 2 feet by 2 feet, and I focus on the figure. A lot of people will build a beautiful set, and they're beautiful, and they'll take a picture like, way up top and go, here's my set. And what you got going on is this little tiny bop in the middle. It's like, no, just build a set and focus on that. And then don't make your figures static. Get them. One of the great things, if you ever see How to Draw Comics the Marvel Comics Way, it's a great book to use for photography, because static poses, you need to have your guy, even if he's doing nothing, he's got to be doing something. There's got to be a reason that he's there. I was really hoping I could upload one picture here.
You got it ready?
Share this one. I just gave it to you, but I hope everybody will recognize this. This is my attempt of the stolen idol. Getting out there and putting it's when you're doing the picture. Obviously, I want to focus on not the plants and everything in the background, but the actual thing here. And if you see Joe getting out of the helicopter, I'm trying to give him some sort of action as he's coming out, like he's actually moving, coming out of the helicopter. And
he looks a lot like the Christmas ornament.
Yeah,
it does. It does. I will admit it does look like that. But this is obviously a 12-inch figure.
Yeah,
but so these are the photographs. Just to give it, and if you see, I kind of I gave it some depth with, you see the plants in the front, so it's just a big wide open picture there. I want to say, here's what's going on in the picture. Your action's going on, and you are the viewer watching what's going on, and you're like looking through the bushes, and you can see this action going on and what's going on with this, and telling a story, going like, okay, what's happening next? I mean, we've all read the comic. I mean, at this point, but you know, there's a cobra wrapped around the idol, and he's got to get it back, and you know, this is, you know, it's sending things like that. A lot of my photographs, you'll see the good guy is in a lot of peril. I never make my good guys heroic. Well, I mean, they're heroic, but I don't put them in a situation where you're always going like, how's he getting out of this thing? You know, I mean, you know, they're completely surrounded by spiders or bugs, and you know, you can see my pictures obviously on the I've been posting them on the Facebook group, and also if you go to Deering Studio on Instagram, a lot of my pictures are there too, so you can see them there.
Yeah,
All right.
posing is huge. You got to get that right pose.
Yeah.
You know?
I keep hearing somebody fiddling with a mayonnaise jar.
So all right. So Dan, are you ready to take our questions?
Go ahead. Yes.
Yes. You know what happens that after you
I'm
finish these
aware of
questions,
some of them, but I'm not cheating. I'm not going to cheat.
everybody, you know that everyone in our viewing audience is going to know everything about you after you finish these questions. You ready?
Go ahead, shoot.
What's the best sandwich?
Well, I'm from Maine, so it's a Amato's Italian sandwich. Canned cheese, onions, pickles. It's called an Italian sandwich up in New England. It's the main thing.
I grew up in Mass, so yep.
Salt, pepper, and oil.
Exactly. You know the drill. All right. Speaking of sandwiches, mustard or mayonnaise?
I go both ways on that. To be honest with you, it depends on the sandwich.
That's exactly
but I would probably lean towards mustard.
All right. Good answer. What's your favorite action movie?
Oh, that's tough. There's a lot of good ones. G.I. Joe, I guess. I guess what I've said supposed to be, is that supposed to be G.I. Joe? Is that supposed to be my answer? The story of G.I. Joe?
Yeah, that's a good movie.
No, my favorite action movie is probably the first thing that popped in my head when you asked me that was Aliens.
Yeah. Oh, that's
just yeah.
That's nonstop action right there.
Yeah.
In your opinion, Dan, what's the scariest animal?
I can't say that, but
that Bigfoot you made.
Yeah, he's right behind you.
I watched Finding Bigfoot, and they got me, so I'm not scared of them. I gotta say, probably something that that would here in America be like a mountain lion. I'd be more scared of that.
Okay. What's your favorite smell?
Plastic.
Don't say that Bigfoot behind
you. I do like the smell of mowed grass.
Okay.
Yeah.
Classic. All right. So I don't even know why I'm going to ask this question, but I'm going to ask it because I think our audience wants to know. Do you believe in Bigfoot?
I used to be honest with you. Anybody here who's friends of mine on Facebook, I posted something back in 2015. And I posted every year, it comes back up. I made a post in 2015 and said, if they don't have definitive video or pictures of him by 2020, it doesn't exist. Because everybody's got a cell phone. I got a cell phone, and all I got to do to get the camera to go on is do this.
Yeah,
true.
And my camera comes on, and there's no reason for me to miss a Bigfoot running beside my car. So at this point now, I lean towards he doesn't exist. Or if he did, then he's no longer around.
Wah.
But I do love him though. Look, I got a pillow here. See, look. Right. Look, I want to believe. So it's
no judgment. No judgment.
Yeah.
What's one thing you own that you should throw away?
Probably some old T-shirts. I've got T-shirts that go back to '80s that I did. I don't even, I just, I wouldn't get over my head.
We have a we've had a few guests say that T-shirts. Name a place, or is there a place that you've never been that you'd like to visit?
Hawaii. Love to go to Hawaii.
Very nice.
I think you've got paradise on this planet, and it's an American state.
All right. So this is the final question because we're running out of time, and this is the one that will really let everyone know everything about you so they can sleep tonight. Have you ever seen a UFO?
I've seen some weird things in my life. I gotta say, yeah, I've seen things I can't up in space that I can't explain.
All right, there you go. Our audience is satisfied. Thank you
very
much.
Well, I gotta tell you, there's one thing they'll give me away about what I do. This guy right here, that's the big. That you want to know who?
That's Svengoolie?
Yeah.
I'm a huge Svengoolie fan. Saturday night, that tells it all right there. Favorite actor is Boris Karloff. I mean, that's yeah. So that gave it away right there. So you didn't ask that question. I was expecting a favorite actor. I had him here because I was expecting a favorite actor question.
I almost asked that one too. I skipped over it this week.
Well, that one got fermented, didn't it? That one, we had it in there too long. It got.
There was some questions that I can't read the writing anymore. The mayonnaise got to
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming. This has been a good show, man.
It's been a blast. Thank you for inviting me.
We'll hear more from you in the future.
I'm available whenever you want me to.
Yeah,
I'd like to pick your brain about the photography a little more.
Well, I'd like to spend more time showing pictures of what I got and kind of explaining a lot more of my photographs and my thoughts on them. So
yes,
be great.
Yeah.
Maybe we can have you back and do that in the future.
That'd be awesome.
Y'all have a good evening. Thanks for coming. Look here. Look at this.
The comments tonight.
He asked me, and I had the Duke waiting.
See, some people are prepared.
Yeah,
not supposed to be prepared.
That is an epic question, though. That's the reason why.
Right. Well, how many of y'all know the Great Razuli?
Nope.
Great.
You don't know the Great Razuli?
Sounds familiar.
It's a lot like Svengali. He's the one that has the Joe Land out in the redwoods.
Yeah, I know him.
Tom Razuli.
Yeah,
Tom
Razuli. Yeah.
He
dresses up like that with that top hat and all that. It's really.
Oh yeah.
He's an
as a kid, I had two. In Michigan, when I grew up, we had one called Sir Graves Ghastly, and he did a show like that. And then in Florida, we had Dr. Paul Bearer.
Okay.
And
Yep.
he hosted shows and did stuff like that too in the movies, So yeah,
those
are two. That was very common back then.
Yeah, Tom, he did. He would go to his local theater during the Halloween season, and he would host all those movies and stuff. Yeah. So hey, I guess it happened all over the United States. Different people, different places.
Well, Sven good Saturday nights on MeTV, so that's what I watch. It's B movies, some really bad movies. Yeah, it's a fun. It's a fun.
They can be. Some are pretty good though. Some are pretty good.
The ones with Boris Karloff always. I love Boris. I love Boris.
Yeah. Well, he was a good actor though. He was really good.
Oh yeah. I mean, anybody could do what he did with Frankenstein. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, again, thank you all. I hope y'all have a good evening. Please
Last being here.
Yeah, get the word out. See y'all later, and remember what? Toys are fun.